Hi, I'm Dan and welcome to my journey cycling from Alaska to Argentina. After almost 1 year since I set off from the Arctic Ocean in Alaska, I found myself in Guanajuato City. And with just 1 month until my visa in Mexico ran out, I figured it would be a good time to fly home and see friends and family. But not before riding the final 360 miles to Mexico City. Along the way, I deal with food poisoning, forest fires, and rough roads as I slowly climb to the highest altitude I'd ever been. I'd also see so many beautiful views, eat tons of great food, and of course hang out with loads of good dogs, all while having a great time.
Life is pretty good out here.
This leg of the journey started in the colourful Guanajuato city, and after some days of rest there, it was finally time to leave. So I ventured out of the city on dusty mining roads frequented by heavy trucks transporting rocks. With the mining communities behind me, I began a long climb into the mountains, and at the top I was welcomed by the luscious forests I had seen in weeks. But with the sunset looming, I began racing to find somewhere to camp. I spent the night in the forest, leaving me with a big descent to do in the morning.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Come on, Anne.
After some time on the highway, I arrived in San Miguel de Allende, one of Mexico's Pueblos Mágicos, or magical towns. It seemed to be full of tourists as well as American and Canadian retirees. Naturally, I didn't stick around too long and was soon climbing the steep cobbled roads out of the town. At the top, the horrible cobbles turned to smooth pavement as I joined the busy highway. The rest of my afternoon was spent on quiet paved roads until I began climbing into the mountains in search of a campsite, where I was given a very warm welcome.
Hello, come on, come on. There's some beautiful mountains behind me, some amazing views off in the distance there. I've got some good dogs by my side. Life is pretty good out here.
I think it's fair to say the climb out of the valley was worth it for probably my favourite campsite I've found so far in Mexico, with some amazing cacti and trees, and of course some of the best dogs I've ever met.
When I was pushing my bike up that steep hill to that ranch yesterday afternoon in 34-degree heat, I was thinking to myself, is this going to be worth it? And now I have no doubt that it absolutely was. It's such a beautiful spot he's got up there, such a peaceful place to spend the night, and those dogs were just some of the sweetest I've ever met. The last few days I've been dealing with a little bit of food poisoning, which has made going pretty tough. Mostly just because I can't really be eating enough to recover and to fuel myself properly for the riding. So today I'm gonna have a fairly short day and get to a town where I can stop in a hotel for the night.
However, the lack of food caught up with me, and between the food poisoning and some brutal cobbled roads, it turned out to be a much tougher day than I expected.
Yesterday ended up being a really tough day. The last few days I haven't really eaten as much as I should be because of the food poisoning, and yesterday it really just caught up with me and I crashed both physically and mentally. But I managed to get myself to a hotel room in the town. I seem to be holding down food all right now, so hopefully I can start refueling properly and keep getting the miles done.
So far today I've ridden about 35 miles on pretty easy going paved roads, and to be honest I feel kind of rubbish. And now I need to climb about 2,500 feet up these mountains behind me to get to where I was going to camp tonight. I'm honestly not feeling confident I can even make it. I thought about carrying on down the highway and just getting a hotel for the night, but I'm going to do it anyway, because if I do make it, when I wake up in the morning on top of a mountain and I get to enjoy the beautiful views, I'll definitely be thanking myself. Waking up in the forest to the sounds of the birds and the view over the hazy valley below left me feeling very grateful that I persevered the day before so I could camp at the top of the mountain. And now I could look forward to a long descent back down the other side. I soon made it out of the mountains and into some towns where I got myself tacos for the first time in over a week. It felt great to be able to refuel and start eating all the amazing Mexican food again. After a couple of hours on the highway, I made it into a really nice little town called Apaseo. And I think I'm going to stop here for the night. It has such a nice feeling to the place. There's this really peaceful little square. All the street dogs look well fed and looked after. I think it's the perfect place to spend the night. And indeed it was. I found the most amazing hotel with this incredible 150-year-old avocado tree, where the lovely owner gave me the room for half price just because I was a cyclist. And I left early the next morning knowing I had a long day ahead of me. It turned out to be another long day on paved roads, but as the day drew to a close, I found myself in a beautifully lush and green forest, with a river not too far away where I'd be able to spend the night. Last night I camped by this river. Is there any better noise to fall asleep to than the sound of a flowing river? It's just the best. I'm feeling very grateful to be in the forest right now. The scenery the last few days has just been so arid that it's been a very much appreciated change of scenery. But the beautiful greens soon turned to the yellow hills I was so accustomed to, although there was still plenty of beauty to be found. Tucked away in the mountains, I found a town to stop in for lunch, and the rest of the afternoon was spent riding to another one of Mexico's Pueblo Mágicos, Valle de Bravo. I spent last night in Valle de Bravo, which seems to be a bit of a holiday destination for well-off Mexicans. And this morning I've just spent about 2 hours climbing up into the mountains behind the town, and I can now see over the beautiful lake it sits on, which is just completely surrounded by all these amazing mountains. There must be some forest fires nearby, as there's a bit of a haze in the air at the moment. I'm now embarking on what is going to be a multi-day climb up to Nevado de Toluca, which is a volcano that sits at about 15,000 feet of elevation. And the Trans-Mexico route that I've been following just goes along a highway all the way up to there. But the last few days of the route have taken me through a lot of towns on busy paved roads, and I'm finding myself craving a little more sense of adventure. So I've found some kind of dirt tracks going through farmlands that are hopefully going to take me to the volcano. There's a lot of uncertainty to this route, which means it's going to be very exciting and hopefully very beautiful.
I've been lying here for too long. I don't know what else to do. I wanna get away from every little thing just to try to make it through. I've been thinking about my options, every detail in my head, but it doesn't really matter, nothing matters, so I cry instead. I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing left.
Not a lot of fun when a quad bike passes you on these dirt tracks. Look at that. Been climbing all day on these really steep forest roads, but the good thing about the forest is it keeps me shaded, so I'm not overheating in this hot sun.
It's amazing how a lot of time spent in the desert can really make you appreciate the forest. You start to take notice of everything nature has to offer, the sounds of the birds and the bugs, every flower, small and big. It really helps you to appreciate being somewhere which is just teeming with life.
I'm so glad that I decided to take this route. I feel like I'm out in the wild again. It was such a nice place to spend the night, and I think today's riding is going to be even better. It's a little challenging navigating out here because none of these roads are on a map and there's constant crossroads with loads of different options, and I keep on ending up going the wrong way and then having to kind of reroute, but it's all a lot of fun, to be honest. And some of these tracks are just really random. Look at this one. Oh, hello. Oh, that's a cute little lamb.
I've just made it to the top of another massive mountain climb on some really rough forest roads. And I'm at about 11,000 feet now. The volcano I'm trying to get to sits at 15,000, so still quite a lot of climbing to go. And at the top here, there's actually a few little fires and some areas that already seem to have been burnt. Luckily, they look like they're dying out, and unfortunately, there's not a lot I can do about them anyway. It's not like I have much water. Now I think I'm going to continue on through the forest for maybe another 5 or 6 miles before starting the next climb.
I've been asking every question, 'cause I haven't got a clue. Why's it gotta be me? What the hell am I supposed to do? I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything I can, but I ain't got nothing there. And I know there's so much more to this life.
Oh no.
But it's hard to see it clearly. Yeah, I tried my best, but
Well, that's not good.
turns out right. God, I need you now so dearly. 'Cause I've been running circles, trying to catch my breath. I've been trying everything.
Hello, Tarmac, my old friend.
I've just climbed up the highway to the last town before Nevado de Toluca, and you can just about see it off in the distance behind the clouds. I did just check the weather, and there's been isolated thunderstorms all day today, which explains some of the forest fires that I've been seeing. You can even see a tree here that's clearly been struck by lightning. I'm just going to stop in this town for a meal. I've just ordered some trout, and then I'm going to do the final 2,000 feet of climbing up to the entrance to the park, and I'll go check out Nevado de Toluca in the morning. It's just started raining. Don't remember the last time I saw rain. Maybe I should stay here for the night. Don't really fancy riding in this. Gracias. It wasn't looking hopeful that I'd make it up the volcano that night, so I found a room to rent in the town, and when I asked the owners if my bike would be safe, they pointed at a very scary looking guard dog. My guard dog isn't the most useful. As the sun set, the skies cleared, and I got my first proper glimpse of Nevado de Toluca. Excited to reach the crater, I decided an early start would be the best way to go.
Alright, it's 6 AM. I'm wearing a jumper for the first time in I don't know how long. Let's get up this volcano.
I spent hours climbing a steep gravel road through pine forest until I emerged above the tree line and found myself in awe of the magnificent volcano.
This is unbelievable. And I've not even made it into the crater. It's only going to get more beautiful. Wow. After 2 grueling hours of climbing, my legs are cooked, but I am now in the park, and I've just got to ride around this road, and it should take me into the crater. I'm so happy to be here. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. It's incredible. And it's also the highest I've ever been. I'm over 13,000 feet now, and maybe I'm imagining it, but I definitely feel a little more short of breath than I normally would be.
If I could, I would have spent days up there, it was so magical, but I'd been invited to come stay with someone 40 miles from the volcano, and so I had no time to stick around, and quickly began the 5,000 foot descent towards Mexico City. By the time I reached the bottom, my hands and arms were genuinely burning from gripping the brakes so much. I then rode through some busy towns before I was picked up by Hernan, who had kindly offered me a place to camp. And in the morning, I made my way into Mexico City. It was pretty hectic once I was there, getting ready for my flight in just 2 days' time, so I didn't film too much, but I was lucky enough to be there at the same time as the Liga MX final.